Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, the best place to be wherever you are on your wealth journey right now. Today I want to talk about the November SEISS grant. This is a self-employment income support scheme grant that the government just announced this week. What exactly is it, who is eligible to claim, and when can we claim it? Now you may well remember that I did two previous videos about the first and the second SEISS grants that came out earlier in the year. So if you're back watching the channel having seen those two videos, welcome back. It's nice to have you here. And I honestly didn't think I'd be making another video about SEISS grants, but here we are at the beginning of a second lockdown here in the UK. And I will say, guys, you know me by now, I don't like getting party political in my videos. Life is far too short for that. All I want to do is to present you with the facts. So whether you agree or you disagree with what's going on out there at the moment, all I want to do is to present you with the facts as they stand so that you can work out whether or not you can make your claim. So what exactly is the November SEISS grant then? Well, as with the August SEISS grant, the government are calling it an extension of what they've previously done. But actually, just like the August one, it's a completely separate entity. So if you remember, earlier on in the year we had two different grants, one that came out in around sort of May, June time, and the second one that came out in August. And although they broadly worked in the same way, they were two distinctly separate grants and you had to apply for them separately. And this extension that's happening in November is exactly the same. It's a completely separate grant. You have to apply for it separately to the first two. And actually, this extension is not just one grant, but two separate grants again, in addition to the two grants that we've already had. And of these two new grants, the first one will cover the 3 months from the 1st of November 2020 to the 31st of January 2021. The second grant will cover the 1st of February 2021 to the 30th of April 2021. And just like before, you'll need to apply for both grants separately. And don't forget that both of these grants are taxable under your income tax year 2020 to 2021. The first of the two new grants, covering the 1st of November to the 31st of January, will cover 55% of your average monthly trading profits, capped at £5,160 in total. As for the second grant, covering February to April, no announcement has been made yet on how much that's going to cover, but as soon as that information is available, I'll make another video on it and we can sort that out when the time comes in the new year. Now, I do want to do a quick comparison here, because if you remember, the very first SEISS grant that came out covered 80% of our net monthly trading profits for 3 months. The second grant in August covered 70% of our net monthly trading profits in that 3-month period. And this grant, the November grant, is only going to cover 55% of our monthly net trading profits for the next 3 months. And that's actually up from the 40% that was originally mooted. So it's supposed to be lower, and they've actually increased it slightly, I think probably because of Christmas. So thinking forward to the February to April grant, I personally would speculate, and this is just speculation guys, that it will probably be 40% that will be entitled to then. But for the moment, this November grant, it's 55% of our net monthly trading profits between the 1st of November and the 31st of January. So who can claim for the November SEISS grant then? Well, if you claimed on either of the first two SEISS grants and got it, then you're eligible to claim. If you were eligible to claim for the first two SEISS grants, but you didn't actually make a claim, you can still make a claim this time round, you're still eligible. And if you didn't claim on the first two grants and you forgot to check whether or not you were eligible, but you feel you probably are eligible for this grant, then I'll just run through the criteria so that you can double check. So the criteria for the first two grants were as follows. Number 1. Your self-employment profits need to have been adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Obviously by this point you'll know whether they have been or not. Number 2, your trading profits are £50,000 per year or less. Number 3, you need to have been self-employed as a sole trader or a partnership, but not a limited company, because this doesn't apply to limited companies, it's only for sole traders and partnerships. So you need to have been running your sole tradership or your partnership in the 2019 to 2020 tax year. Number 4, you need to have submitted a 2018 to 2019 tax return on or before the 23rd of April this year, so 2020. And number 5, your self-employment income must be more than any other non-trading income that you have. We can claim our November SEISS grant from the 30th of November 2020, and presumably this will be on a staggered basis again to stop everybody flooding the website all on the same day. So when you apply to check your eligibility, it will also give you a date on which you can actually apply for your grant. So please wait until that date until you actually apply for it. I have to say the last 2 claims were really easy to make, and they paid the money out within 7 days of you actually completing the form. Now HMRC have not yet updated the eligibility checker on their website, so as soon as that comes available I'm going to keep my ear to the ground, and as soon as it happens I'm going to put it in the description underneath this video. So if you're watching this video and you've checked the description and it's not there, check back a little bit later in the month and hopefully that link will then be up, because I'll put it up as soon as it comes through. Lastly then, what will you actually need to make your claim? Well, just like before, you'll need the following items. Number 1, your national insurance number. Number 2 is your unique taxpayer reference, your UTR number. This should be on any previous communication you've had from HMRC, so any letters that you've received from them should have your UTR number on there. The third thing you'll need to make your claim is your government gateway ID and password. And if you applied for the previous 2 SEISS grants, you should already have that set up. But if you haven't applied for the previous 2 SEISS grants, you're applying for this one for the first time, then they will allow you to set up your government gateway ID as part of that process. So it's a very, very easy and simple thing to do. If you are setting up your government gateway ID from scratch, you will need either your passport or your driving licence to complete that form. So I really hope this has been helpful, guys. Do give me a thumbs up if you've liked this video. Also drop me a comment below. How are you getting on making your claim? Have you made previous claims? Let me know in the comments underneath. Also have a watch of these 2 videos up next because they will definitely help with your wealth journey. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet for plenty more videos about personal finance, mindset and wealth creation every Thursday morning. Thanks ever so much for watching this one, guys. Do stay safe in the meantime, and I will see you next Thursday.